Are you ready?
Are you kidding me? That's what?
Yeah, every so often it happens that Ryan is right.
100% right. Not even a little bit right.
Tucker Pullman, 2 points last game.
No kidding.
My man!
Hey, neither does me running shirtless, but that turned out very well.
Welcome to the PP1 Podcast.
Oh, snap. He's got it. He's got it going. He's got it going. I kept the picture in, so we're going to have to keep that for at least another week or until we get a new photo of us playing baseball, which is going to be soon. But you guys are probably wondering what is going on. We got a person on our show that isn't Ryan or Ted. First and foremost, welcome to the PP1 Podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network and brought to you by DraftKings, promo code THPN. The Hockey Podcast Network is a menagerie of hockey shows, including ours, including friends of the show, Trust the Process. And you know what? That's okay. But you're not here to talk about them. We're not here to listen about them. Not here to see them. You're here to see the PP1 Podcast with a guest that is alive. Thankfully, he's alive. The last time we saw him on our show, Ryan Schaap was walking the main streets of downtown Hastings in Vancouver, and he just disappeared. We thought he was dead. Ryan isn't dead. He's well alive. He's on our show tonight. Welcome to the show, Ryan Schaap.
The way you were describing that, it sounded like it was a bit of a Kate Middleton situation. Like he's not dead.
We'll Photoshop.
I am, as an amateur photographer, I do dabble and experiment in Photoshop, and I experiment with other podcasts on Thursday night. So it's great to be here.
Just taking pictures with everybody's kids. Photoshopping, yeah.
So did you see that Photoshop today of Kruger? It was the Kate Middleton photo, but it had Costanza and Kruger.
Oh.
You know, the airbrush one.
I didn't see that one. No,
man,
It's all such good stuff,
like,
and
this is content. I love it.
we need this. It's what we need to bring everybody together. Life's too expensive. We need a good uniting shit post and meme, and we got it.
Yeah, this is good. Ryan, we're not just bringing you on the show because like we've known you from Canucks Twitter. You also have a podcast, I hear.
Yes, I have a podcast.
You know what? We're early in the show. Maybe let our viewers and listeners know about this. I hear it's great, and it's also about Canucks, I think.
It is a great podcast about Canucks.
Okay, what's it called?
The podcast is called 32 Thoughts. We're kind of full of ourselves at this point. We kind of laugh at our own jokes a bit too much. And if you listen, just make sure you don't radio us. Don't radio us because we don't want to be taken out of context and we don't want to, cause a ruckus. But yes, 32 Thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, way to go. I hope that works out for you.
Soon to be 34 Thoughts. There's going to be a lot more work.
Yeah. Welcome to Houston. Welcome to Houston. All jokes aside. So Ryan Schaap and I hooked up on the weekend at a local bar, a drinking hole, watering hole.
Yeah.
And
like actually?
Yeah. We got together, had a few drinks and
to two of them.
And some good times. It was a great time. We got to drive in his Hyundai Kona.
Full electric.
That was pretty cool. I felt electric in it. It felt like one of those commercials, but there was no other music aside from what you were playing. So,
yeah, outside of popping in to see my sister and her partner, I drove an hour to see Ryan and have a couple beers with him at the only cool establishment in Abbotsford, my hometown. And I showed up very hungry and very hangry, and I said, "You're gonna watch me eat because I need to eat." And he did just that. He watched me devour a duck clubhouse, and then he picked up the bill. And I had two big beers and a club sandwich. So I in exchange for that, I did gift him one of our Pucks on Net t-shirts.
So,
but
We got some content coming out later in the show, but
And where'd you guys go? Well, look at that.
look at this shirt. I'm gonna move the microphone for a second here, so you guys.
So these shirts we sell. We got them designed and printed locally. That's the back, because as you get older, you want that small logo on the front. But they turned out pretty sick. And the real concerning thing is not that I gave him one out of the generosity of his heart for picking up the bill, but it's that I brought one of all the sizes we have in stock in an effort to sell,
to satisfy.
I'm like, there could be an opportunity here. There could be there could be a fish on the line. I got to close this one. I got to get this.
Listen, I bought one already from you. That's plenty.
Okay. I haven't actually checked the mail yet. I'm sure it's in there.
Well, I gave Ryan 2, so I don't know where yours is.
We're gonna figure it out, Ted. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. So I mean,
It's with Middleton.
This is a.
Middleton.
I feel like we have a show here.
Gonna Photoshop me a shirt.
We're gonna Photoshop you. Yeah, we'll see how the show goes. So Ryan drives all the way down from downtown Vancouver to Abbotsford, and anybody that knows that route thinking, are these guys like best friends? Because I wouldn't do that for some of my listen, we go way back. We go back to the WHL on Shaw days. And I gave him some great plugs for his podcast back in the day when it was actually they got onto TV every
Is
now
that
and
when
then.
we paid for a spot, like a plug spot on the show?
Oh,
I did
yeah,
that
that was
out of
a
the
great
goodness of my
spot.
heart because Arash realized that Ryan made a terrible, terrible mistake allowing other podcasts to advertise in their show. Worked well in our favor, I think. So
I loved it.
Abbotsford was a lot of fun. Ryan took me on a journey through his childhood, and
Showed him the sites.
it's a little troubling.
What house did I show you?
The house of Castle Fun Park.
I got this on the rundown. So this is how I labeled it. And then I had to look at the rundown quickly. And I'm like, what was I talking about? So I had Abbotsford, the drug house, and PONTs as a line item on this. I'm like, the drug? Oh, right.
Yeah, I was looking at that and I was like, I was curious about Drug House. Maybe we can get into that.
Yeah. So Ryan, this is actually a really funny story because he's like, we're going to go. Actually, it's funny because it was down Guildford Road or something. I lived in Guildford, in Surrey. So this was like this was a connection. This was a je ne sais quoi. I don't even
There's
think
a
that's
Guildford
right.
Road in Kelowna too.
I'm pretty sure there is. I think you're
Is there?
right.
No, there's
So,
not.
I mean, there could be. There's who knows. I haven't been down this street here. So Ryan takes me down this street and he's like, I got a story about this house. And this is where you come in here.
Well, I grew up in this town. I come back to Abbotsford and I do the typical, guy from a town reaction is when you see something new that's built, you like stop with your jaw to the ground and be like, holy shit, that bank wasn't there 2 years ago. Like, oh my God.
That's what you
And
do.
so,
Like, oh, that went up quick.
whoa. Did I just blink?
Yeah.
And I turned down the street, which is like backed onto my old high school, Yale Secondary. And I said, my good friend of mine in grade 8 and grade 9, he lived in this house, and his brothers used to sell pot out of the basement bedroom, and it backed
You
out
said
of the
heroin. What?
No,
This story isn't
did.
it? This story is not as good as I remember it. No, I'm just
They probably sold other drugs. They were not
probably
good
did.
people.
okay.
And they would sell, we'd be play wrestling on the trampoline in the backyard and like doing backyard wrestling stuff. And these like shady kids from high school would be going through the hole in the fence to come buy pot from their window. And then when they moved away, the new owner, like the people that bought the house, like I didn't think anything of it. And then one day I was going to school, and there's a big wooden sign on the front yard that said, new ownership. The blanks have new ownership. The Smiths have moved. So it made me think that these people bought this house and all these degens are coming up to the window trying to buy pot.
It's like coming to them with like rolled up money. Like, here you go.
Can I tell you?
No questions asked.
I got to tell you, this might be the funniest story I have. And I always forget about it. And then I remember it. And so I'm so happy to tell it to you right now.
The floor is yours.
So I'm over at this guy's house, play wrestling on the trampoline, and he had a colorful character many colorful characters in his family.
Was his name
And-
Daryl by any chance?
Is what?
What was your buddy's name?
His name was Jake Vertanen.
Oh, so it's not. I was gonna like if it was like Drug House Daryl or something, that would be really cool. Like
I
all
won't.
the photos
No,
playing.
I believe I won't. I'll respect them, but
Wow, what a gentleman. Something Smith.
something Smith. So Smith and I are play wrestling on the trampoline, and next to the trampoline is 2 wooden sawhorses and a big piece of plywood or particle
Mhm.
board. Particle board, same thing, right? Plywood, particle board, big
It's in
thing.
the Board family.
A board is on top,
Board
and there's
adjacent.
all of this broken glass on it, and like the whole thing is covered in broken glass. And like after a while, I'm like, "What's going on there?" And then Smitherson goes, "Oh man, Uncle Art tried to cut my brother a new windshield." And I'm in grade 8, and I'm like, I'm not that smart. I don't know much about cars. And he goes, and I go, "Don't you need to like use a laser to cut windshield?" And he goes, "Yeah, Art cut his hands up pretty bad."
Oh boy.
Good old Abbotsford. Never a dull moment in the Abbey.
And that's the
Oh,
road I took. I took Ryan down, so it was a great day.
it was
I've
pretty
spent some
awesome.
time at Abbotsford. My uncle did like a bunch of the murals that are all through downtown Abbotsford, like the baseball mural and
We love those murals. That was your uncle?
the Viking mural by like the dealership there. The mural with like the train with all the logs falling off the boom. The Summer Games mural. He did all those.
The Summer Games mural with the gymnast with the leg missing?
Yeah. And the Rick, like it's Rick Hansen. I don't know. It wasn't
Yeah.
Rick Hansen. It was like that. Yeah. Was there a leg missing? I'm gonna have to put in a complaint.
It's a design flaw. If you're on good terms with your uncle and you want to,
They probably hadn't paid him enough. They probably didn't make the final payment so he could finish his art. And he's like, you know what? You get one leg. Like, you pay me the rest, I'll come back and paint that second leg for you. It's not a bad idea. That it was
we never saw Smitherson's house, so I don't remember that. I can't even say that properly.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. I
yeah.
gotta send you this.
Oh, the mural is gone now. Apparently, I'm looking at the chat here. That mural is gone now. Did they get rid of the Summer Games mural? I mean, I guess it was Summer Games from like 30 years ago, so it's fair.
So I found a photo on.
Thanks, Grant.
And I'm sure this is the one. Is this the mural in question? It's in it's in the group chat we got in the.
That's the mural. Yeah, that's the mural.
Look at the gymnast on the left.
Oh yeah, it's hiding behind.
an abnormally like large foot too.
Yeah, look at that.
She's got like a full butt, but not 2 legs.
Never
so that's
noticed.
weird.
Make sure you put this. Make sure you let the people know what we're looking at. Some way. Get that in post, Ryan. Come on.
Yeah, we'll get that. It's I mean, I could show you my phone. It looks like, is that Jimmy Key blowing a bubblegum bubble? No, and he's on a soccer. Some guy's peeling an orange as a soccer player.
Well, listen, I just want to say,
Little
as a Abbotsfordtonian for life, and that's where I'll always identify from. The fact that your uncle did all those murals, that's pretty cool. And it might not be cool for a lot of people, but it's pretty cool for me.
That's like my one flex when people talk about Abbotsford. Like, I can't wait to talk about this. I have to let everybody know.
Well, I mean, that's the whole show. Famous
That's his verbal
famous
flex.
NHL players from Abbotsford. Let's go.
Yeah, he did a lot of like the old, like back when it was still, I think it was like still skate logo early Orca, like did a bunch of the jersey murals inside.
Nice.
Like it was then GM Place, and then schools all over Abbotsford
I
and the
remember
Okanagan
those.
and Vancouver. Yeah, so that's all him. Dean
Yeah,
Dean
they
Mosley
were-
D Arts. Yeah.
They were so abstract, and then they painted over them. And then with the hockey cards with the jerseys over them. But man, that's very cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Super
Dean,
established guy.
holy
Yeah.
smokes, things are getting real right now.
The chat knows. Abbotsford is all over this podcast right now.
This is
On
Grant knows what
YouTube.
who would have thought this was our big break? So Ted, before we got going on the show, the first time we had Ryan on the show, we were I think it was like slow pitch season, to be sure.
Yeah.
And we opened Ryan to the world of Jewish baseball, and or so he thought anyway. And Yeah, we're just reminiscing about like, hey, remember the time you thought that we were in a Jewish baseball league? The good old Orthodox. And I almost want to go and watch that video again just to see the look on your face
Very
when
niche.
when we were trying to explain it to you, and you're like, you kind of had a confused look on your face. It was great. It was really funny.
Well, where we were playing in Vancouver, it's there's a lot of the Jewish businesses and a temple, and Oak is relatively known as the Jewish neighborhood. So we were playing off Oak, and I'm like, Orthodox League, yeah, why wouldn't we? We're in the right place.
It checks out. So we were saying we might need to put Ryan on our playoff roster as a spare in case he feels like coming by in July. Because, last time we made a playoff run, Ted's like, oh, I'm going to get a new heart valve. So it was
Ted, you selfish prick.
it was a little tough through that final stretch there. So, we might need you.
I might have a team this year. I've had to make the difficult decision to put certain shitty Beatles on hiatus, but I'll be in that post-wedding bliss where nothing that I can ride that high more than some very hot dehydrated softball up in Kelowna.
Oh, well,
yeah. Are you getting married this year?
Yeah, June 22nd, same day the Canucks will win the Stanley Cup.
Congratulations. That's going to be the best wedding gift ever. I can't wait for you to receive it.
Yeah, I just hope it's not on that day, and I also hope they don't lose on that day.
People can dream, Rye. People can dream. So before we get into the actual Canucks stuff, so I opened my Series 2.
That is actual Canucks, them winning it on Schaap's wedding. That would be
Canucks. Yeah.
Apologies to the bride and the bride's family for just how goddamn drunk and yelling I'm going to be if that happens.
Oh man,
listen, they know.
Can you imagine what a party that would turn into?
They know what they're marrying into. They all know.
They know.
You buy into the Canucks life. If you aren't in it and you marry in, welcome.
Once I found out that her dad golfed on a regular basis with Martin Jones' father and one Ray Ferraro, I said, "Hey, you want me to marry your daughter? Why don't you just kind of make sure that Ray comes on the podcast?"
I'm gonna need a referral.
Yeah, just crossing my T's, dotting my I's, no big deal. So we opened up our Series 2 hockey cards tonight, and we did not hit the Bedard. We did hit the Bedard checklist, which was worth a few bucks. I hit a UD exclusives, which was like numbered at 100. So, I mean, definitely made my money back on the box. So that's good. But there's some cool cards this year. There's some like sparkly, glittery ones and that are not dazzlers. It's a good time. So I suggest if you've got, at this point in life, if you're just buying a Series 2 box, if you've got, $280 lying around that you just want to blow on 12 packs of hockey cards, I do suggest it. There's a lot of money if you happen to pull that card. So
Upper Deck Series 2 with Bedard on the cover.
That's the one. If you can get in on that action for under $200, I suggest you do it.
Amazon has it for a $115.
Yeah, that's
for
a
a
10.
blaster box.
Yes, that's 4 packs.
That's it
4 packs
in this economy.
This economy, yeah.
What's a single pack go for?
I don't know. I don't think they allow you.
Got to be like.
I don't think
got to be
you can
like
buy it that way
$6 or
anymore.
something like that, like $6.99 or $5.99 or something.
Not anymore.
Oh,
not
man.
this box. I paid $180 for
Not
mine.
for the box. No, I meant for like a pack of cards.
That's what I'm saying. I paid $180 for 12 packs.
Who's your
Well,
card
sounds
guy?
like you got ripped off.
Hey, who's your
No,
card
he-
guy?
Pardon me?
Player's
Who's your
choice.
card guy? Yeah,
My
what are you
card,
doing?
Player's choice. No, they didn't rip me off. That was
No, I'm just joking. Great sponsor.
I
Friends of
know.
the show.
No, I'm
We
telling
love
them that was the deal price. If you buy in now, because they're going to be producing these, obviously, the hype on it is so high and the stock is so low. I think they were
Just like
saying
the PP1 podcast.
that's right. I think they said like the next buy on these in like I think May is like $500 a box. I'm not even kidding. For the same thing. The same thing. $500.
God bless Upper Deck for taking whatever supply chain issues that still remain from the pandemic to make cards for the first time since the 80s, like hard to come by and worth something. Like
Mhm.
I bet they're just leaning into this. It's like a
Oh,
Photoshop.
Wouldn't you? Like, if you're like, hey, we can make so much money right now. And it's the same thing. There's actually less packs in the box than there was last year. So there's actually they've upped how many cards are in a pack, but they've diminished how many packs. So you used to get 24 packs with 8 cards. Now you get 12 packs with 12 cards. So you get 48 less cards.
So I'm looking at for $116 on Amazon. I shouldn't say this too loud in case Amanda hears me. For $116 on Amazon, I could buy 48 cards in a chance to get a Connor Bedard rookie card.
And here's the thing. So
You're not
normally,
to.
I mean, we'll allow you to buy it while we're talking. That's fine.
Fellas, I got to tell you, I just bought my own dumb lottery purchase in the last 7 days or so, hockey related. There's this Twitter account, Hockey Jerseys with a Z, and they do mystery drops. And basically, I've paid 100. I got into their lottery, and I paid 134.55 Canadian to get a random jersey that will be
Ben
shipped to me.
Butenschon signed.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm terrified because my biggest nightmare is that it is a Minnesota Wild or Boston Bruins white blank jersey, and then best case scenario is like a jersey, and then it out falls a Connor Bedard rookie card already PSA graded. So
That is a roll of the dice if there ever was one.
But they've shown some good. They've shown some good jerseys from the from these drops. So I'm going to do it on our podcast when it gets here. It should be good content.
Yeah,
I will be here for it. Do you guys want to talk a bit of Canucks before we get into our reveal? You guys want to talk about Canucks tonight?
let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. So the Canucks didn't do anything at the deadline, but they had their own deadline like months before. So I guess we got a few questions. First and foremost, are you guys happy with the current team, and do you think they can make the run? Guest, you can go first.
Well,
Other Ryan, you're on the clock.
It took a little bit of time, but I became okay with not making moves. But it really bummed me out that they couldn't make moves. And the Zadorovs and the Hroneks and the Elias Lindholms, like, man, they gave away picks in all those trades. And when it came time to look for some scraps to scrounge together to give for Tyler Toffoli, those scraps weren't there. So that kind of bummed me out. But we talked about it last time on our podcast, like not giving up on Nils Hoglander was pretty cool to see.
Very awesome.
And he's looking great, and he is taking the right strides, the correct strides. Just he's getting better, and he's proving his worth, and he's on a sweetheart of a deal. So when you look at it with the fact that they didn't have the draft capital, they didn't have any cap, I kind of like that they stood pat, and I don't like that I wouldn't have wanted them to give up more picks for Jason Zucker and then send a guy back that way because they actually can't afford him.
Right.
It is what it is. And I think that if Elias Lindholm scored that empty net goal in last night's game, it probably wouldn't have ended. The game would have ended the way it did.
Yeah.
But this team hasn't been here before, and they don't know what it's like to put the pedal to the metal every night. So sometimes you need a good kick in the ass, and they got it last night.
I got 2 points. I want to tackle that before Ted goes. One, if you've noticed, the NHL this year and last year, I would say maybe the year before, the draft picks that are going out the door the other way aren't even like this year. It's like very NHL connected or GM connected mode. Like, well, I don't need to give away this year's because I don't have any. But how about next year's, the year after that? Like, oh, it's a 2026 third. Like, great. I have no idea where we're
might not even
3
be
years
here
from now. Like, we might not even have a team in 3 years.
Yeah, there won't
like,
be third round picks in 2026. Come on,
exactly.
what do we
decided
care?
on a one. Yeah, we
Let's get into
decided
the
on a
NBA draft.
one round. That's it. Yeah. So, and then as far as the Lindholm thing goes, I mean, I've watching that live and watching the replay are two things. Watching it live, I was like, oh, he's so close. But at the same time, like that was one of those moments where like it's just the puck's just kind of dancing around, and it would have had to have been perfect. Was it an easy shot, wide open net? Probably. In the moment, that's probably a pretty tough shot to make still.
Insanely tough, wrong-handed, and like if you actually watch the replay, it's going through the crease. Like he did what he could do. Like no,
So.
the harm to the, we'll talk about the game in a bit, but like there's lots to blame for last night's game, and that's kind of what makes it a bit easier.
Yeah, Ted, do you like this Canucks team, and can they make the run? I'm gonna do that. I think for all three of us,
The run,
because it's great content when you can do this.
Yeah, I think Schaap's right for the most part too, and I wonder what we would have had to the Canucks would have had to pay to get a Zadorov or a Lindholm if they had done it at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
like how much? I mean, would we even have been in on any of those trades? Like, I guess doing it beforehand obviously makes sense from like the whole get your game in order thing, and we haven't seen that from Lindholm, and so although they kind of blew their wad early to try to get these players in the door, right? We just haven't seen like the fruits of your labor, so to speak, come back on the Lindholm thing.
As Chris Phillips would say, grab a towel.
Grab a towel. Yeah. Or a sock or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think because we're just not seeing everything from Lindholm yet. And I don't know if we will at this point, right? Because I think they've sort of placed him in a role where he's not set to score a bunch of goals and be a super impact player, right? I mean, he's sort of been, I don't want to say marginalized because it's an important role, but he is a bit of a role player now, right? So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens when Joshua comes back. I think he's sort of a key to a lot of this and like unlocking a lot of this.
Yeah.
You know, if they had such a strong third line before with Garland and Bluger and Joshua, what does that mean now if the third line is good with Lindholm on it? Does that mean that maybe we get to see Joshua up a line or something like that? I'd be interested in checking that out. So that's like, you know, that's sort of one way of looking at it. But I think it also speaks a little bit to, like you said, the Hogs thing. That's pretty important. It was really fun to see them keep and trust, you know, some of their younger players. And it probably speaks a little bit to maybe the progression in guys like Baines and Podkolzin as well, right? So
yeah, I was just
would we have liked a third liner to come in and be like a good, you know, defensive forward or a penalty killer? Like could what we have in-house not do that job? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm becoming, not so much publicly yet, but I'm becoming a bit of an Ilya Mikheyev stan.
Oh boy, we're gonna get there, Ted. Don't worry.
Love this guy. Love him.
But the guy, you know, his return to form is the deadline deal acquisition we didn't know that was sitting there waiting for us.
You guys want to hear about something here?
What's that?
I'm almost there.
Ted wasn't watching the. What were you doing last night, Ted?
I can't remember.
You were busy. He was busy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I caught second period on, basically.
Okay, so he was busy in the first. So Mikheyev scores, and we've been joking about our who was the guy? Oh, Tucker Poolman. So we've been joking about that, man. And I swear he had 2 goals. He had an assist, didn't he? Mikheyev had an assist, I think, the other game, didn't he?
He did. No, Lindholm had the assist.
Oh, okay. So anyway, we're joking. I'm like, Mikheyev scored, and he's like, my man. And he goes, man, he looks so good on that line. And then Ted says, because this has been an ongoing thing, how I said, I've been on the Mikheyev, you know, you got to call it at some point. He goes, I don't want to say I told you, but, and you're right. I think it's one of those moves that just have kind of just like simmered. And then, you know, if he becomes like the healthy Mikheyev down the stretch here, I mean, that's one addition that you already know, and he's been in the lineup. You're just finding like, hey, we actually found out you're good at this and this and this. Hey guys, but I'm good at this now. Okay, then we're just gonna get you to do that again. Like they have these guys. They have these guys now.
You have the guys, and having Elias Lindholm, like this is not, you know, this we're hoping for a run that goes past the first round, but like as the playoffs take their toll on this team, having a guy like Elias Lindholm to win faceoffs and get slotted up through the lineup when your back's against the wall or your injuries are mounting, or having Ilya Mikheyev, who is fast as hell, is a penalty killing specialist. And man, the injury at this point in the season was not his ACL. It was the thing between his ears, and just shaking that, getting that hurt his nose. That's a Kenny Powers reference. But to have him kind of just bump that insecurity and get some confidence back and get a goal, like once he gets one and he got it against a difficult team, like he's gonna get more, and it's gonna come in a flurry, and everyone's gonna be like, "Well, gee, Wilker, I told you they didn't need to get rid of this guy."
That's a boomer voice, in case people are wondering.
And like, a couple weeks ago, I was
Nailed it.
on our show, I was saying like, this is the depth that it's gonna appear in the playoffs. It reminds me of the bubble when all of a sudden Jay Beagle and Brandon Sutter are in their very specific roles doing incredible things, and the salary cap doesn't matter. And it's like, you're going to get that from Mikheyev. You're going to get that from Lindholm. So just sit back, like get into the playoffs. They'll get healthier and they'll figure it out. And like, yeah, they have figured it out.
I kind of want to get into Mikheyev, I think, how great would it be? And I hope it kind of doesn't happen because we'd be freaking out for the whole series. But how great would it be if it came full circle that he had to catch up to McDavid on a breakaway, and we get to relive that for realsies. I think that'd be cool. But the one thing, like you guys are talking about Lindholm and Mikheyev, and there's been some big moves, but I think the Zadorov one, I think, is come playoff time, having him and Juleson that have played together now for how many, like a month? They've pretty close to, or maybe a bit longer, as a defensive pairing. And
once
we're now
Myers went down,
yeah. So
Juleson looks like he's the odd man out for this upcoming game too. So,
but it just looks like that. I mean, that was their first big ad, right? And we all went absolutely ham on it. We're like, okay, they're getting for real this year. This is so good.
He's
and
really
then
big.
Yeah, that was my junior boomer voice. But you look at this team now, and you have that depth. Like, they made the moves well enough in advance where when everyone's adding all these new guys, like Toffoli played his first game on the Monday, so after the Jets Canucks game. So all these guys they're slotting in. Some of them have done really well right away, but I mean, some of these teams aren't going to hit on these additions. Some of these teams aren't even going to make the playoffs.
They got a short amount of time to figure it out too, right?
Exactly. And the Canucks have been playing around with line combos, defensive pairings, power play options, all these things. They've gone through winning. They've gone through some losing streaks. They've already acclimated themselves onto this team. So when it actually does matter, they've kind of hit the highs and the lows already. So now it's like, okay, you guys have all been here long enough. You're all Canucks now. This is not, welcome to the team. Everybody has a role. Everybody has a voice in that dressing room. When it matters, this team has already, got through the honeymoon period. So now let's play for real. So anyway,
to tack onto the Mikheyev thing too, right? I mean, we're kind of forgetting a little bit about the fact that Carson Soucy has only played 20 plus games, right? I mean, that almost in itself feels like a deadline ad. I mean, he's been here since the start of the year. I mean, when he's in the game, he's so good. So I mean, that's going to
need all those guys too.
It's going to be a bit of a boon for us too. I mean, and then I don't know. We've talked about this before. The fact that most of these teams that are in these positions have had time to gel together, not over the season, but over the years. And that's not what this team is. And they're having to get all these lessons in now. And this was a lesson versus Colorado last night, right? I mean, this was just like you said, Schaap. It was, a kick in the pants to be like, hey, this is what it feels like to show that you got to put your foot to the floor, or else you're just going to get run over by a Nathan McKinnon. And they were dismantling them prior to to all the shit, right? So now it's a lesson. They need all these lessons.
They held McKinnon in check, the McCarr for the most part. Casey DeSmith was having a great game. Everyone was having a great game. And then that one goal, typical Canucks thoughts come in. You're like, okay, just get through the third.
Everybody commented on it. Even Shorthouse and Ferraro were like, here we go.
Yeah, we know this story.
We just knew. I feel like we all knew watching the game, but that's how it was going to break down. And I didn't. Yeah.
And the fact that it was 2 seconds left in the second, and they were just waiting for the clock to run down. The Canucks they took their foot off the gas. They got, fat and happy, and just we'll coast this. We'll shut them down. And that was the worst goal that you could give up to that team. Then you give them that 18 minutes between periods to motivate themselves, being like, fellas, this is 2 goals. all I got to do is dive on the ice like a flopper. And this is Nathan McKinnon talking. It's like I'll draw a 5-on-3. It'll be 3-2, and then we'll just get them tired in their own zone and hem them in, and then boom, it's 3-3, and we'll win it in overtime because this Carson Soucy guy makes the dumbest possible penalty. Takes the
as soon as it was over, I'm like, just give it to him. It's over. Like
so
it was.
I've had a stretch last week. Every time I take the dog out to do its last pee of the night about 9:00, something would happen. Like I was watching the LA Kings game, and I believe it was Pettersson got his goal to tie it up, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm coming back, and it's either gonna be 1-1 or it's gonna be 2-0 LA. I'm fine with that. I need to tempt fate. I gotta rattle the cages.
That's why I don't pee on the power play. That's my thing. I can't go pee if there's a power play because I know I'm gonna miss something. Like this is a decade old now.
The no PP1. Am I right, fellas?
Wow. So you got the dog pee. He's got the pee on the power play. My wife's thing is she's got to talk like absolute shit about the Canucks, and they seem to come back, which is like fairly unhelpful for me when I'm watching the game.
Because you can't rest on your laurels or your yannies on that. So
to trump this, and I was really nervous too. We were all nervous. I'm like, well, I'll watch it on Sportsnet on my phone. So I go down to the street, and Stevie does her business. And I'm like, okay, clock's ticking down. No. No.
Not like this. Like on the Matrix. Not like this. Not like this.
They're going to get to overtime. Come on, man. And they didn't.
Awful. Just awful. But you know what? The nice thing is we've been here before. We know what that feels like. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to bed.
7:30
you don't have to like, do on it. You're like, screw it, I'm done.
Couldn't go to bed either. Had to stay up and watch Big Brother after that.
Oh, that's right. He's doing well.
Yeah. He's doing good. He's staying under the radar. Fam's doing well on the show right now.
I think Amanda watches Big Brother. She's a big fan. Who actually
Ted's cousin's on the show.
She worked on Big Brother Canada. She's got one of the bags that they give when they leave.
Oh, so that definitely trumps having a cousin on the show.
It's close.
I mean, you were there. She was there. She was working on it. That's cool.
Yeah, she's got some good tea to spill, and she's got a bag.
I bet. Yeah.
So I just want to know: do they get free Wendy's on the show? Because they got like that order menu. Like you just walk up and like, I want a spicy chicken. That's what I would ask for. I would just be like, I'm going to stay in this house as long as possible. I want the
standing there in front of the drive-through window,
just all day. Like I don't even care. Just keep me into the end of the
Wendy's
show. I want
featured on the show.
Mm-hmm. There's a Wendy's pickup window.
It's for like whoever wins HOH gets like you and whoever you choose get to order whatever Wendy's.
And as if you wouldn't have like a video and be like, "Sir, this is a Wendy's."
Well, why is the question of it being free if they win it?
Well, I haven't seen enough episodes.
Never mind.
I just see the window.
Because when you're in the house, you just eat whatever's in the kitchen all week, right? And then when you win,
you have Wendy's in your house. If you, it's like being the president.
Then why would they give it to them if it?
And then it's like a previous like contestant will like give you your thing and like your meal and like give you advice and shit like that.
Oh,
Jesus
I don't know. It's a lot of Baconators.
This thing broke down harder than the Canucks last night. This Wendy's Big Brother dialogue.
Speaking of breakdown, so Casey DeSmith is tending net for Thatcher Demko until he comes back. I hope Joe Bartnick isn't right. Because we had him on in the summer after we got Casey DeSmith, and he made some jokes. He is a comedian. And then we had him on about a month or so ago, I think. Great guy.
Also a Penguins guy, yeah.
Also a Penguins guy. And we're like, well, DeSmith's looking pretty good this season. This is before the game. And, things are going pretty well. And he goes, you wait. He says, nah, yeah. He goes, you wait. And here we are in the waiting period. And, I mean, I think the Canucks go best case is 5-2 on this hopeful stretch until he comes back. To Demko I'm talking about. I think even a worse case if they go is it 7 games they've got, I think. So even if they went 4-3, we should be thrilled. If they went anything better than that, I mean, let's be happy. But this is why you have a veteran backup goalie, and they've got Silovsov. He's probably going to get 1 or 2 games out of this whole run, likely. Just trust the rest of the guys, and hopefully he has a game like he had against Colorado.
Who knows who the Canucks are playing next? Wait, I'll use this hand.
No, it was you. It was you. Isn't it Los Angeles or something
It's
again?
they have so much time
Vegas?
off to rest and recover. They play the Capitals on
Oh, right,
Friday.
Capitals. That's right.
They the Capitals just beat the Kraken in regulation.
Montreal. They got a Montreal game, I think.
Yeah, it's Capitals, Buffalo, Montreal, Calgary, and then the Angeles. The city, Californication comes to town on the 25th.
I'm dreaming of it.
Man, you made me laugh and I burped at the same time.
I thought maybe you like took a hit or something like that, and you're just
Can we clip that? Can we get the fellas in the truck?
40-23 of the show.
It's already out.
Yeah,
They have a plum little schedule. They had they had a shit sucking back to back to back to back to back to back to back, start to 2024. They are in their own beds till literally April 2nd, and that makes them no fool. And they play their one remaining back to back in that time. This is a schedule. This is a schedule that is been in place unintentionally to get this team into the playoffs, potentially winning the Pacific.
I'm up for it.
It might be the nicest late schedule this franchise has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Like for real, like the amount of guys like the Coles of the world and guys that are nicked up like Myers. You got guys logging big minutes like Hughes and Hronek. Like, man, there's going to be so much benefit for those guys to just have this time at home. No travel, big dates in between games, like work with your trainers. You got DeSmith probably working with Ian Clark to work on everything. Seelov, same thing. Like, what a boon. Like, we're really going to reap the rewards from this, hopefully.
Want me to keep going?
Yeah, please.
Like Ted said, I'm almost there.
The Canucks do not play in the Eastern time zone. Again, they play all their games in the Pacific with the exception of a game in Arizona, which I believe are on daylight savings time, so it should be the same time there, and a game in Winnipeg. So their internal clock is cooking. Okay, I just got an update from Amanda. When someone wins head of household each week, they get it for themselves and one friend.
Wendy's.
So it sounds like it's legit for Wendy's.
Nailed it.
But nobody else is getting it.
Thank you, Amanda. That was content.
So the HOH gets to pick who the other person is. So
that's
like
cool.
Some strategy. It's like winning a reward on Survivor, right?
I love a disgusting Dave's Double. It's on my banned list of disgusting, delicious foods. And
Burger King's on my ban list completely. Our entire family.
Dave's Double, that's like your go-to, Dave's Double?
Yeah, if I go to... if they make it right where you like it melts in your mouth essentially and you know how gross Wendy's gets, and like that's what I'm talking about. And just I don't even need the fries. Fries don't matter.
Their fries are good.
What?
Yeah, but you got to take
anybody ever
care
said
of
that about Wendy's fries are good?
I'm not saying they're the best. I just said they're good.
They did a revamp, and I was about to catch myself and be like, they did a revamp not too long ago, but it was like 2016. They got
like
artisan fries and shit.
It's like that new house in Guildford.
Yeah, you got to say it in the boomer voice. They got a revamp.
Yeah, it was a couple of years back. They did the new fries. Oh, not that long ago, only 15 years ago. But they came in like the A&W like metal fucking little basket thing. Yeah. And you got to salt them up. It's like going to White Spot. You got to do so much work to get those fries to be good.
Hey, you got to put in the work to get something good, man.
We're talking about a Wendy's revamp in fries or an A&W revamp?
A&W revamped their presentation. Like they started bringing out the stuff on like the metal trays and the metal crap to make it look all.
How great
it's more like it's more like Triple O style now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't steal those metal trays and put them under your tires, though. The plastic ones are the only ones that work. You know, when you're trying
back
to do
in high
like
school,
donuts,
we're going to A&W steal those damn glasses. Now you can't do that anymore.
Exactly, because it's stealing. Because it's just stealing at that point.
Like, what is stealing?
I ended up in the back of a squad car stealing an A&W mug one time.
What?
How old were you?
Oh, I was like,
this was 2 weeks.
I was like grade 9.
Oh, so they just scare you straight kind of thing?
I was terrified, mostly because they were going to tell my mom because she was terrifying. So that's
Fry Wars 15 years ago. I remember BK spinning. That's true. You're not wrong.
Yeah, BK. Yeah, that's coming back to me.
Arby's
So,
curly
oh,
fry though dominates
I've heard
everybody.
of BK. I could probably count the amount of times on one hand that I've eaten at Burger King.
Yeah,
Burger
we used to
King-
a lot of high school because we were right across the street from KSS.
Burger King in Canada it's funny because like it's the only truly disgusting restaurant menu wise, and the appearance, the cleanliness of the lobby. It's just like it's rough and tumble. Like you go to an American McDonald's and it's just like a war zone.
Oh,
But
I
here
love
it's
them
like-
though. They make me feel special there. I'm like, you guys have different sauce presentation here for your nuggets.
Everything's so cheap here, and that's problematic when I think about it in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's like I remember when we used to go to Disneyland when we were just married and like, all right, well, let's just at least go to McDonald's, get our breakfast, and start realizing like we've had McDonald's here a few times. Like it's because we don't have any more money because we're at Disneyland. So we have to eat at McDonald's. So, we're gonna do one thing here, and then we're gonna get into what I believe is probably the best segment in podcast land. And I'm just going to tease it in case Ryan hasn't seen this.
Top five.
So we're going to be doing that in a second. But first and foremost, so I showed you guys the Pucks on Net shirt. But we've been working on this, or by we, everyone knows it's me, working on this since November, I think, since AI pretty much took over my life. We are... And anybody
Man, you should see the shit that he's putting together with this. That's ridiculous. Like, where has your mind gone?
Oh, there's the stuff that I send you, like it doesn't usually leave that chat, although some of them have. And
I often have more hair in all of these AI generated things, so I'm stoked.
yeah,
The AI is smart. AI knows what it's doing.
Yeah, it knows I want hair.
Stuff. It's some pretty freaky stuff. So we're going to show you guys. We've got five different designs. We're likely going to release them all at some capacity. It won't necessarily be a t-shirt, but maybe like stickers or something. But basically my idea was to come up with our show as like a vintage, like wax pack of hockey cards, which I think is super cool. Like
the old school peachy bubble gum that you can't chew.
Yeah, exactly. So I threw that into the old AI bucket and it threw out some cool ideas. There has definitely been some editing. Thanks to Yerky for helping me on one or two of them for a few things. I just couldn't get past a hurdle through online Photoshop, but he helped me out on a few things that I just couldn't figure out. So
like, hey, Addy, what do you think of this one? I'd be like, man, that's great, but the goalie has 2 left pads.
Yeah, so there's a few things that there was one that there's one I just fixed like last week. Ted's like, you know what, Rye, that one looks so good. He's like, but why is that one pad upside down? And I'm like, screw you. You could have told me the last time when I showed you this. So
I did.
You showed me that it had 2 pads on the one leg. That's why. So it's kind of
it was implied.
It kind of ties in with the one leg mural. So this is actually kind of cool. So without further ado, I'm going to show you these 5 designs, and hopefully we'll post these after as well. And I think we want to get everybody's opinions on these, and then we're going to try to make a shirt for hopefully for the playoffs. And I don't know how we're going to do it or what we're going to charge. We're going to do a nice shirt because I spend nothing but time on those websites of finding the best materials from Milan. So without further ado, here we go. Here's number 1. Are you guys ready? Ryan, you've seen some of these, so it's not going to be as much of a surprise. But here we go. So this is number 1. So we got a little bit of Jason. That sound effect, but I do have this one. Oh, that was a guitar. This one I meant.
First and first, mostly for me, it's about family. First and first, mostly, let me tell you what I'm wearing.
So that was also the wrong one. I believe it's this one.
Okay.
There we go. So that's the first one. I did the same kind of aesthetic as far as the wording went. So you'll notice a bit of a pattern. Kind of cool. I also had to limit some of the stuff to 6 colors. So we can get these printed on t-shirts properly without it costing an arm and a leg. Here is number 2. Kind of got a little bit of a little Russian theme, I suppose, if you will. So kind of neat. I'm covering Ryan's face, and I do apologize.
What about this is Russian?
It just has like a vibe in the font, I think. Don't you get it? No? Maybe?
It's very golden seals to me.
Okay, that works. So that one's, it's very...
It looks
simple.
like all the hats you wear.
Yeah,
That's
the
true.
cards smell like gloves.
Yeah. I just figured we got to make it kind of funny too, right? So like smells. I didn't want to put hockey gloves. I think it's implied. Here's another one. This one's kind of cool. More of the wider pack.
A big fat goalie. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not fat.
I don't think there's any flaws in this one, Ted. I think I got this one, and it's like a fake Tops logo, as you can see.
There's something funny going on with the bottom of the goalie stick, but
it's just that's his tape job. I think Stützle does his tape job that way too, so that's fine. We're not going to judge this one. Kind of interesting. It's got some things going on with it.
Very
more
Russian.
bubblegummy.
Very Russian.
Very Russian.
It's very Shesterkin-y.
Igor Shesterkin. So again, they all got. Yeah, sorry, Ron, I had to cover you for this. So
no, it's fine.
And then this covers everybody. This one probably will get the votes, I think. We got a little bit of Jason Voorhees in there with some funky, cool hair.
It's like Jason Voorhees, or is it more like Casey Jones?
It could be both. I'm
got some Vancouver voodoo vibes going on here too,
doesn't it? It does. So anyway, we're gonna post those a little bit later after the show, and we'd love your opinions. All different podcasts. If you got a different Canucks podcast, whatever, we want everybody's opinion because we want to make something cool, and we're not in it to make money, just to release some cool swag. So we'll probably try to do something for the Masters as well, some golf balls again. But this is the one we've been working on, and we'd like to have something cool out there for you. So
nice job, Ryan.
Thanks.
Nice job, Ryan.
Wait. Which Ryan are we talking about?
Oh, get out of here. This is not a who's on first. We're trying to praise you for your weird psycho AI binges going on. Get off AI. Raise your children.
Yeah, well, I read them who's on first, and we have that book, and they love it. It's the best.
Tell AI how to tell your daughter to skate better.
I think I need to skate better. Yeah. I get a nice text like, "Yeah, she crashed." I'm like, "Okay, we gotta go.
We gotta go now, don't we?
Beers need to be done. We need to leave." So
it's like our buddy Matt Ferguson telling his kid that if she shaves 10 seconds off her time, he'll give her $10.
He sent me the exact same thing. Yeah. He's like, if you can, because we had our last meet of the season for like the local club. And Matt sends me the text. He goes, "This is for you if you can take 10 seconds off her official time." I'm like, well, I'm judging, so I'll just take the 10 right away. I was like, I have no control over the time, but I could definitely use $10. So I told everyone at the timers, I'm like, who wants $10? So he kept the 10. Unfortunately, he lied. So, Ted, it is your turn this week to do
top five.
Okay. Did you guys hear about the Garland Hronek fight in practice here?
Oh yeah.
How funny is that? That's like the second time this year. He's going after he wants to drink the Dakota Joshua juice, I guess.
From the Joshua tree.
So, I mean, you watch a lot of Garland. It seems like people just like go after this guy all the time. He seems like a nice dude. I don't know. He's like a little fella. Like, is he a rat? Like, I don't know. Like, is he just a shit disturber? I can't tell. So my list is top 5 shit disturbers you hate, but would love to cheer for if you're on your team.
Are we gonna be nice because we always do this for guests?
Yeah, of course.
Ryan, you get first pick.
First off, I'd like to scold Ryan for spending too much time on AI and not enough time telling me that we had a top 5 approaching.
Well,
we always keep it secret.
You don't know until the show.
I know who my number 1 is. Is it current players?
It can be whatever. No, it's whatever.
And it has to be hockey, though.
So anybody you feel like pulling.
I'll go old school so I can think about it and Google some names, but I'll go Claude Lemieux, 5.
Ooh.
Absolute POS. Such a good performer in the playoffs. Won a Conn Smythe Trophy in '95. He did some dumb guy shit in the playing for Colorado, but like it's the '90s. Everybody did. So I'd love to have a Claude Lemieux. Not so much a Brendan Lemieux, but Claude Lemieux, number 5.
Also a little shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ted, you know what?
You get to go, Ryan.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna swing for the fence on this one. Brad Marchand.
Oh, damn it!
That's your 5.
No, I don't think we'd never do it in order. Do we?
No, you just pick.
Yeah.
You want to pull them off. You want to pull them off the board, though, right? So nobody gets them. It's like a draft.
Brian's just like, you should have told me the rules. When I'm also finding
You're
these
sitting here with Claude Lemieux like a friggin' loser.
It's like, way to go, Boomer.
Okay, so we got a couple of cups. Yeah, I mean, Marchand, another piece of shit.
I wrote an article about how he should
Super talented. Like, it's
I love
crazy.
Big
Like how much
Brad.
better he got. The little ball of hate. Great name too. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Who you got, Teddy Bruschi?
Well, I need a cup too, so I'm going to take Corey Perry. Another POS, very
Great
unlikable,
POS.
very unsavory. Also has a cup, so I feel like you can't leave him off the list. I'm going to take Corey Perry.
I like that. Ryan, back to you.
Let's go off the board a little bit. Hometown connection, played for the WHL team that I used to work for. From the Canadien de Montréal, number 11, Brendan Gallagher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
That's a good pull.
Real good piece of shit. Played punched above his weight class, which he kind of had to do. And he's a guy that survived the transition from, big David Clarkson, dumb guy hockey into to the skill game. And like he got to overcome all those odds. And then like, oh man, this is getting pretty easy.
Yeah.
So, give it to Gally.
Yeah. I mean, great baseball player too, Ryan. I got to play against him in home base tournament. Yeah, the guy's got tree trunks for legs.
Oh,
it is a damn fire hydrant. Just crazy. It's a fire hydrant.
He runs like a freaking train. Like you just watch him and you're like, I could watch you run for a long time.
He's a scary dude.
Yeah, very, very cool. Oh, this is going to be a tough one. Would you say that? Oh, you know what? This is good. I'm going to just pick this just to piss people off. Jordan Binnington.
That was on my list too. Yeah, Binner. But would you love to have him on your team though?
No, I wouldn't.
I don't know.
For the sake of this article,
I think I'd want a good goalie. I don't know.
There's way bigger shit disturbing goalies that you could have.
You know what? He's
too late, Ryan. No rebuttals.
Whether you like it or not. Yeah, he's got a Stanley Cup.
Okay. Is it my go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't leave Alex Burrows off this list, so I'm gonna take Alex Burrows.
Sure. Great pick,
Yeah.
Dad.
Potato farm jokes. Google's guys, works up family history before he chirps them with a super thick French accent too, which I feel like he also does on purpose.
Classic story about Alex Burrows.
Love that guy.
Friend of the show, James Rayburn, played ball hockey nationals against Alex Burrows.
The Montreal Red Light.
Yeah, and he said that guy was so good, and he would tell you off in French as he was about to score on you.
I believe that.
Like I'm just like, man, that guy's awesome. So,
I love that. That's
like,
so sick.
It's so great. I just thought like a dude chirping you as he's about to score on your team in another language. Like you have no idea what he's saying, but you know he's talking about you. I like that. Good pick. Ryan, back to you.
Let's keep it a little. Well, I was gonna say let's keep it current, but as we realize how old these guys are and how this player is like essentially on his last legs, won a cup in 2018. Let's go, Tom Wilson.
Yeah, good one.
Oh, I was just looking at that. That's a good pick.
A huge rat.
Huge rat. Been suspended a lot, but kind of has reined it in. And I think in like the end of the last decade, we kind of realized like these players have to play on such an edge. It's so easy to just go over the line because they have to go right to the line. And I'm just like, man, like, yeah, he's gonna get suspended for these hits because that's what he's doing. Like, it's a fast game, it's an intense game, but don't care for him. But I'd like him on my team.
Yeah, I think we could do okay with having a Tom Wilson on our team. Spider Soul in the chat. Darren McCarty would be one of mine. Yeah, that was a tough guy to play against for sure. Is
Darren McCarty a goon or a rat?
He's a grinder, just like the band, right?
Is he a gym?
His band grinder.
I also hated Adam Burish, the Hawks series against the Canucks, but would love to have him playing for us. Yeah, Adam Burish was a bit of a pain in the ass for a minute too, wasn't he?
Would Dave Bolland classify in this list?
I'd put him in there.
Yeah,
So I was thinking between those two. I'm gonna go Dave Bolland.
Oh, there you go. Dave Bolland.
Yeah. This is a tough category. I'm off the top of my head, I'm really not feeling like I'm doing well here. Like I know I'm doing well, but I feel like I'm not going where I'd like to go.
You all seem to rebrand it like the top 5 draft because I came in here thinking we'd all have the same list.
Yeah. More names come out if we do it this way. Sorry about
totally.
Ryan.
It's a great idea.
Oh, gee. Okay. You got somebody better take this one. Who's after me?
Is it my turn?
I think
it's my turn.
It is.
I'm gonna go a little off the board here. I'm gonna go Steve Ott. Steve Ott.
Like it.
That's a good one.
What a pain in the ass that guy was for a bunch of years too, and not a big dude. So, yeah.
And just really annoying. You remember that classic clip from NHL or HBO 24/7 where he's Googling face-offs and stuff. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Schaap, I feel like I know who you're going to pull on this one. I feel like you got this dialed in.
Well,
you're up.
No, because I was going to go off the board. Who is somebody I really like? I'm going to go with Sean Avery.
Oh no! You took mine. On the hole.
The guy gets a rule in the rule book.
For my 33rd birthday, Amanda gave me a cameo from Mr. Avery.
That's right.
And he talks about Pucks.net, and so that's why he's in our intro.
You got to marry that girl.
We'll see what happens.
Fun fact. You're not going to believe this. You'll never believe what happens next. Actually,
this list is good. We could even do a 6. We could do an honorable mention after this too, if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one, I don't have a Canuck yet. Alex Burrows is off the board.
Save this one for you, Ryan.
I was hoping someone else would take it just to know the name gets pulled off, but we can't be talking about this list without the cooker, Matt Cook.
Oh, this is not the Canuck I was thinking of. Yeah,
he is a rat. I'll give him that.
Todd Bertuzzi's not on this list, so
Matt Cook.
Yeah, I think that's a good pull. Like, I mean,
that's a fun one.
We celebrated him after
Mr. Hit Parade. Guy won a cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. True story.
Married his billet mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah, I learned that from Sean Avery.
Oh, no kidding.
Because he was on a podcast once, and he was, I forget what they were talking about, but it might have been the top prospects game. But Matt Cook tried to injure Sean Avery, and he's like, "That's the maddest I've ever been at a player." And he's like, I'm not saying his name, but he married his goddamn billet mom, and then people just started cross-referencing. It might have been Spit and Shit. It was a notable podcast that people started cross-referencing, and I found a news article from 99 or whatever, and it was Matt Cook injuring or attempting to injure Avery. And then I started thinking, and this is no knock. I'm knocking the sensibilities and the personality of this person, not their looks, but I'm judging their character. But she definitely, when you realize looking back in those pics, she was considerably older than him. Maybe 10, 15 years.
Wow.
Hey, you like what you like.
Way she goes. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she doesn't go.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah, heart wants what the heart wants.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so Ted, I think you're up now.
All right, I'm going to stay off the board, I think, because being off the board here is kind of fun. I'm going to go Daniel Carcillo.
Oh, car bomb.
Car bomb. That's a good one. Yeah, he that's a good pick.
Oh, what an animal. What an absolute animal.
Fun.
Him and who's the other? Zach Ronaldo was a bit of a crazy man too, right?
Those two guys on the Flyers just raising hell.
Whoa. Yeah. It's in the chat here. It says also hated Ville Nieminen.
Yeah.
Flames. Yeah, Flames Ville Nieminen.
I'm going to go with a bit of an old school pick here. A classic. Ulf Samuelsson.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was wondering who'd take him.
GWG in the playoffs, man.
Yeah. He won a cup with Pittsburgh, Colorado. I believe.
The Colorado. No. Oh, in Pittsburgh too? Oh, no, I was thinking UA Krupp maybe.
Oh,
It might
Uwe
have been-
Krupp, we got the GWG, but yeah, Ulf Samuelson's a great piece of shit.
They
there's
both were.
Yeah, oh yeah. There's some good YouTube clips of like Ulf Samuelsson getting knocked out by Ty Domi and stuff, and you're like, I could have watched this.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
into
see
this,
how many
yeah.
more videos are like this. Yeah.
Did anybody else do it?
Yeah, it's for a montage.
Yeah. How long is this video? 8 minutes. No kidding.
Hell,
I'm in. Okay, I got a good one, and this is off the board. This should bring us all back. We call him. He was also in the Lion King movie. If you guys remember, Mr. Scar himself.
Pumbaa?
Scar. Ian LePerriere.
Oh yeah,
That guy.
that guy. Is there anybody that had a more psychotic look than
That guy
Lappy?
sucked. Like that guy sucked. He was just such a pain in the ass. It was great.
And to think that he was like the afterthought center that we picked up to replace Malhotra too, and what a good fit for a while, eh?
Just absolute garbage. But I mean, man knows what he's doing. He knows what it's doing.
So who was that? Sorry, you took
Ian LePerriere.
All right, I
No,
guess you're...
Ian LePerriere, not Maxim Lapierre.
Oh, Ian LePerriere. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was like, Max Lapierre.
I was like, I don't think he was a Canuck.
Ian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian was... Well,
Back
you
in
know
the
what?
day,
Max,
man.
Max Lapierre was a piece of shit too. So
That's a good pick if somebody wants him, because he was an awesome one. You're like, I really like that guy, but man, I would hate to play against him.
I think Schaap, you're up.
this is my last one.
Well, we got an honorable mention. We'll throw in there too. if you
Okay,
want. Wait,
I'm
you
gonna cook and get modern. Matt Tkachuk.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a good pick too.
And as a Canucks fan who watched them draft Olli Juolevi, I honestly don't think that Matt Tkachuk would have worked.
Who picked Ulf Samuelsson?
Oh, maybe you did.
I did.
That's the honorable.
Okay, so this will be your honorable mention then.
Okay, then I'll
already
do
have
Matt
that.
Tkachuk.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make myself feel better, but like I kind of think that Matt Tkachuk wouldn't have fit and worked out in this team. Like it was kind of like that Flames team kind of made sense in that Flames market.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they would have put a muzzle on that dog in them.
They would have ruined him.
I think that they would have made him be something else because the management had no clue whatsoever. And I think there would have been a Cam Neely redo with him. Just players like that, this team doesn't know what to do with or how to utilize them to their full
Mhm.
potential.
Mhm.
Yeah, until it's too late anyway.
Mhm.
And then we find out like, oh, he ended up being really, really awesome.
So I guess I need my fifth, right?
You need your fifth.
I'm gonna cook and I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna take Esa Tikkanen.
Also a guy that sucked. You did not want to play against him.
Former Canuck.
Fun
Yeah,
fact.
for a minute.
You guys know the fun fact about Esa Tikkanen in his Canuck days?
Passed his health examination and physical, and then got to play finally for like 45 games and debuted in a red jersey.
That also is true. Esa Tikkanen played for 3 teams in 1 month. He was traded twice in 1 month. It was the Canucks, the Blues, and the Devils, if I'm not mistaken. He played for all 3 teams in 1 month.
Reminds me of Jussi Jokinen. He played for like 4 teams in 17,
Yes.
18, including the
Yeah.
Canucks.
Juicy. Had that beauty goal.
Anybody that ends in in and a Jokinen or Tikkanen, the future's not looking bright for you at the tail end of your career, folks. So good little pull there. So you got your 5. I got my honorable mention. I've been trying to get him on the show, but he's kind of busy with doing Coyotes things. Tyson Nash.
Tyson Nash. That's fun.
Yeah, that guy, he
Suck
enjoyed
up.
playing hockey, and he enjoyed pissing people off. Super nice guy. I've met his whole family. They're very nice people. On the ice, you would hate that guy. You would hate him a lot, but super cool dude in real life. So Tyson Nash would be my honorable mention.
Tyson Nash.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
It is a fun one. I agree.
So I'll go honorable mention, and I'm gonna take Steve Downey. Some great games for Team Canada. Like obviously, he was like a psychopath again playing in the league.
Notorious piece of shit. He was the one behind the. I don't want to mispronounce his name. Oh, he played. He was the guy for Calgary that came out front about.
Was it Akeem Aliu?
Yeah,
was that him?
Being raced. Downey was like the key. He was the veteran on that. I'm not saying it was all Downey, but like he played a key role in that.
But there you go. So he meets the piece of shit moniker. So other players we missed. So there's looks like Jarkko Ruutu could have been on there. We got Max Lapierre, didn't make it. Jordan Tutu. I think we got Ryan Kessler would have been one that guys dislike to play against, I think, a little bit. So
totally
fun ones in there. That was a fun list. I like.
Great pick, Ted. That was a fun one.
I enjoyed that a great deal.
That was a lot of fun. So that pretty much brings us to the end of said episode. This has been a lot of fun. We had a good friend of the show, Ryan Schaap from Pucks on Net, who decided to stay up late. We decided to bring out the young man in him and stay up just late enough so he's going to hate us tomorrow.
Whoa, 10:15. Jesus Christ. What the hell?
Yeah. This is how we do things. Once you're married and have kids, this is the only free time we have. So
yeah, I feel that.
The day podcasts or emergency ones, listen, we got a guest. We have to leave work early to make this happen.
Babe, I gotta go podcast in the car.
Different time zone. So we do thank you, Ryan, for coming by on the show. Thank you again for coming to meet me on the weekend. That was a lot of fun. We enjoyed some good times, some great discussion. I think I believe the kids call it breaking bread is what we did.
That's the new slang, breaking bread. Yeah.
It was a good time, and yeah, I want you to know that you're worth the 2-hour accumulated driving time to go to Abbotsford. Yes, I popped in and
just a quick question before we kick you out. If it was a gas vehicle you were driving, would you have done the same thing?
I probably would have. And I'm trying to give you some goddamn compliments and say that I was having we had an awful weekend. Our dog got horribly sick with the old doggy D word, and she's been about 2 days on the mend, so it was a great escape, and I was pretty tired, but I'm like, this is something I should do. So you get that treatment, and Tad, I don't know you well enough, but I'd like to give you that treatment one day.
We're really sorry that didn't work out for you, Ted. So
all good.
Ryan, thanks so much, like I said, for coming on the show. I'm sure we'll have you on again one day. Always a good time. Everybody check out Pucks on Net. It is a pretty good show. It's one of the longest running Canucks podcasts out there. They record normally on Mondays, except for this week. And that's okay. I still haven't listened to your episode because I haven't had time yet. So it'll be a good listen.
Rash did the whole show laying down on the couch because he hurt his back. So if you're watching on YouTube, it's pretty funny.
What a wuss. What a wuss.
But I do enjoy coming on with you fellas, and anytime you want or anytime you need, I'm just give me a holler, because I quite enjoyed this episode.
You're just down the digital highway if you think
about it. Holla at you, boy.
That being said, like I said, we're going to wrap up the show. This has been the PP1 Podcast. I don't know if you had anything else to say, but it's been the PP1 Podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Like I said, a menagerie of hockey podcast shows, including the championed one, the PP1 Podcast, as I just said. DraftKings promo code THPN. As I mentioned in edit, that we really like you, DraftKings, and we thank you for being a part of our show. Ted, did you have any final words before I hit end stream?
Oh yeah, watch Big Brother Canada. Support your boy Matt Wong, Surrey boy. I don't know if there's a voting thing. Maybe at some point he'll need it.
Dude gets free Wendy's if you win. So
that's right. Yeah.
Make sure you support those fries and the Baconator. And what was yours? Dave's double cheeseburger.
I'm a JBCB guy. Like I could eat about 10 of those and just be completely content.
It's the right size for you to crush a few of them. There's not a lot of wasted space on there like a double.
Yeah, you buy 3 JBCBs, you get through 2, and if you want the third, good. If not, no big deal.
Man, you must be
all good to go.
There you go, folks. Have a great one. Peace.